top 10 one-man army fights in anime. Welcome to Anime Town, guys. Today we'll be talking about the top 10 one-man army fights in anime. The top 5 may not be what you were expecting them to be. Now make sure you have pushed that like and subscribe button. Well then, shall we begin? The first one on our list is Number 10, Licht's Desire to Kill. As the unprecedented forces encountered Licht and the others with their enhanced technology, at one point, something about what Sonohara Mizuka said that made Licht lose his innate consciousness. Was it a ghost from the past? We find out later in the series, but in that moment, Licht loses control. His PTSD is abused, and within an instant, the enemies start getting murdered. All that's left behind is blood. His number count begins to multiply, and he lets out a vast, considerably unreal amount of energy. Licht had gone berserk, and stopping him now was a near impossible task. Number 9. Yu takes on everyone's burden. After failing to protect his brother's best friend, Yu decides to go on a journey to put an end to the supernatural prowess of an adolescence of this world so that he can put an end to weird experiments. One by one, he encounters them and rids them of their abilities. Gradually, he begins to become more unstoppable, and at one point, try whatever you may, you can't stop the ever-growing threat of the Reaper. Yu will come and find you, and he will take away your ability, because that's what Reapers do. Number 8. AntiSpiral versus the drill that pierces through the heavens. The struggle between the spiral and the anti was the core basis of this series. The idea of freedom, of aiming towards the heavens, of believing in the Kamina that believes in you. It was all beautifully laid out to make the impossible possible. In order to lead the entire series to a grand yet awe-inspiring finale, moments before the climax, after overcoming Inception itself, the Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann faces off against the entire existence of AntiSpiral, and then, just like that, to deliver the final blow, Simon's drill pierces through the anarchy behind the control of the entire universe. Number 7. Massacre at Kise Plains. The Overlord Ainz patiently awaited the advance made by the kingdom, and it eventually ended with the most brutal and gruesome one-sided war in the history of this fantasy world. Over 180,000 soldiers were massacred in an instant, and their corpses were used to manifest horrendously horrifying undead monsters. The war was so one-sided, soldiers literally lost their will the moment it started and deemed it as some kind of dream. Even the allies are utterly horrified. They start clapping out of fear of Ainz's supreme strength. This annual war became the foundation of what led to the official recognition of the Sorcerer Kingdom. The world was taken aback. Number 6. Garao versus Heroes. One Punch Man is full of instances that can be talked about in this list. There is Saitama's fight with the subterranean people and their king, the fight where Garao wrecks all the villains, and then also the conflict where the tank top master and his subordinates are thoroughly crushed by Garao. But instead of talking to them, let's talk about an even more ridiculous instance. It is when 8 powerful heroes gang up on the already injured Garao and attempts to kill him. He knew he would die at this rate, so Garao decides to surpass himself and in turn get one step closer to becoming a monster. Alright guys, from here on out, we'll have some of the most iconic one-man army scenes in all of anime. Number 5. Hiakimaru goes Berserk. Born without the ability to see, hear, talk, or smell, Hiakimaru always lived an unfortunate life. But after living with the man that became a parent figure for him, and his first encounter with Dororo, he begins to become more and more human, and finally he found something that he genuinely loved, and that was Mio's singing. However, things go horribly wrong as he is away. Mio and the other children start getting mercilessly killed by despicable wannabe samurais. Before Hiakimaru came to the scene, it was already too late, but he did hear Mio's dying words, which were just enough to completely let his heart get overtaken by rage. He became a monster and completely slaughtered all those despicable scums except one who somehow managed, but it was too late. The tragedy had already taken place. Number 4. Utsoru versus everyone. Ever since the very beginning, no matter what kind of opponent Gintoki and the others may face, they were always able to overcome or at least get on par with them before the conflict was resolved. That is until Gintama 2018 and the appearance of a ghost from the past. Utsoru is an immortal being whose basic philosophy strongly centers around the idea of nihilism. His behavior and past are complex and can sometimes even be incomprehensible. In this fight, where everyone including Gintoki, Hijikata, Okita, Kagura, and the other strong players that were there, they were still not enough to deal with the monster that was Utsoru.
それでは私を殺すことはできない。ここは私が生まれた地球だ。
Number 3. Guts versus 100 soldiers. The incident that dubbed Guts as the 100-man slayer, it happened in one of the most respected anime and manga arcs of all time, the Golden Age arc. At one instant, Guts takes on 100 enemy soldiers single-handedly. This happened before he became renowned as the notorious Demon Slayer, also known as the Black Swordsman. But despite the unreal amount of fame he received because of these feats, Guts isn't the type of man who cares about that. He left the incident as well as similar incidents far behind and kept moving forward. Number 2. Troll of Jump. The brilliant anime adaptation of one of the highest rated manga of all time, Vinland Saga, started with two Vikings, namely Thors and Thorkel, wreaking despair in an all-out war on the sea. Thors were recognized as the strongest men, and the only man who could ever keep up with a guy like him was Thorkel. Now, throughout the anime, there have been various instances of Thorkel acting as a one-man army, but what makes this scene about Thor so emotionally impactful is the history, the dilemma, and the idea that centers around it. Despite being the strongest, and even though Thors literally took out anyone and everyone around him with barely any effort, there was something more important than his own life. Number 1. The Terror of Wrath. Quick quiz, who would win? A full-scale military strength of an empire or one old man? When King Bradley returns, what welcomes him is not his subjects, it's tanks and the military, and with just a sword, the old man goes after the tank. All of the soldiers on the front line are killed in an instant. He takes on the tank in a 1v1 and destroys it. As he moves forward and forward, the casualties multiply. That's right, this one old man became everyone's worst nightmare. King Bradley alone took on the entire military. So there you go guys, these were the top 10 one-man army fights in anime. Press that like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe, and leave a comment saying I subscribed, and I'll personally reply to your comment. I didn't include the major ones like Madara wrecking the Alliance or Luffy defeating 50,000 fishermen with his conqueror's haki, because nearly every other video like these features them. But if you want to share your favorite one-man army fight, go wild in the comment section down below. Well then, I'll see you guys on my next video.